In general, when referring to the descendants of Adam and Eve, the initial thought that comes to many people is the narrative of Cain and Abel. However, there is often an omission of other biblical accounts that mention the other sons and daughters of Adam and Eve. In this video, we specifically address the daughters of Adam and Eve. Let's explore who these daughters were and what sources like the Book of Jubilees, the Holy Bible, and ancient traditions say about them. The mystery surrounding the daughters of Adam and Eve is often overlooked when people read the Bible and focus on the more well-known sons of Adam and Eve, such as Cain, the firstborn, and Abel, the second. However, it is common to forget that Adam and Eve had several daughters. According to the biblical text in Genesis chapter 5, verses 4 and 5, intriguing information is revealed about the sons and daughters of Adam. These verses mention that after Adam lived 800 years, during which he had sons and daughters, totaling 930 years of life until his death. If this topic has piqued your interest, please like and comment, and subscribe to the channel to always receive our new posts. Although the Bible does not provide the names of Adam and Eve's daughters, there are other texts from ancient Judaism and traditions that specify some of their names. Based on the Book of Jubilees, mentioning the names of some of Adam and Eve's daughters, according to these ancient Jewish traditions, offers insights into these less explored figures for those who are not familiar. The Book of Jubilees, also known as the Little Genesis, is connected to the word Jubilee, which means joy. This book is part of the apocryphal texts of the Old Testament and narrates the creation of the world, the formation of Adam and Eve, and stories of various characters from the Old Testament, mainly from the Book of Genesis. Although not a recent text, the oldest known manuscript dates back to approximately 700 years before Christ. However, this manuscript is a copy of an even older work. Some scholars associate the Book of Jubilees with the Book of Chronicles, indicating that the scribe Ezra may have written the intermediary text. The Book of Jubilees claims that its true author was Moses, who received a revelation from an angel on Mount Horeb. It is noteworthy that the Bible reports that Moses spent 40 days and 40 nights on Mount Horeb without eating or drinking water in the presence of God. Historically, due to the antiquity of the text, we cannot dismiss the possibility that Moses was the true author. The Book of Jubilees enjoys a significant presence in Israelite culture, with several copies distributed among the people. Additionally, it mentions another mysterious apocryphal book, the Book of Enoch, which was widely known by early Christians and even formed part of the biblical canon used by them. This highlights the importance of not dismissing the Book of Jubilees as it contains events intertwined with Bible stories. Returning to the story of Adam and Eve, according to ancient Semitic Abrahamic traditions, Adam and Eve's first daughter was named Awan. Awan, in Hebrew and Phoenician, means power or simply vice. She was the wife and sister of Cain, who was also a son of Adam and Eve. According to the Book of Jubilees, she gave birth to Cain's children, and one of them was named Enoch, who was responsible for building a city named after him. This son is mentioned in the Bible as one of Cain's achievements after his banishment due to Abel's murder. The city was named Enoch in honor of his son. The name Awan is mentioned in the Book of Jubilees and other Abrahamic texts, such as the Cave of Treasures, where she is referred to as the fifth. Therefore, Awan was Cain's wife and Adam and Eve's first daughter, according to these traditions. According to various ancient Semitic traditions, Adam and Eve's second daughter was Asherah. Asherah was the wife of Seth, Adam and Eve's third son born after Abel's death. The name Seth has etymological roots in Hebrew, and its meaning may be associated with the idea of compensation or substitution. This is relevant because after Cain murdered Abel, Seth was considered by Adam and Eve as a substitute for divine compensation for Abel's loss. He is seen as a righteous and pious descendant, and from his lineage, the biblical narrative suggests that humanity continues to worship God. Additionally, Seth's genealogy is significant in the Bible as it leads to Noah, who played a crucial role in the flood story and humanity's survival. Seth and his wife Asherah were links in the genealogical chain that connects to the creation of humanity, later events, and important figures of the Judeo-Christian tradition. The Book of Jubilees presents an interesting detail by stating that Asherah was initially Abel's wife and became a widow after his death. Later, when Seth reached maturity, he married Asherah, and from this union, Seth's lineage originated. Seth himself became the first patriarch of this lineage. According to the Book of Jubilees, Asherah was born in the 6th week of the 4th Jubilee and married her brother Seth in the 5th week of the 5th Jubilee. In the 4th year of the 6th week, she gave birth to a son and named him Enosh. Enosh is one of Seth and Asherah's sons, known for his righteous ancestry and devotion to worshiping God. The main reference to Enosh in the Bible is in Genesis 5, verses 6 to 11, describing his genealogy. Seth lived 105 years and begot Enosh. After that, Seth lived 807 years, begetting sons and daughters, totaling 912 years of life. Enosh, in turn, lived 90 years and begot Kenan, who lived 815 years, also begetting sons and daughters, totaling 905 years of life. Enosh's main attribute is attributed to his practice of prayer and invocation of God's name. Genesis 4 verse 26 mentions that at that time, people began to call on the name of the Lord. This passage suggests that Enosh played an important role in promoting worship and devotion to God in his time, marking a period of spirituality and religiosity among Seth's descendants. According to the ancient Book of Jubilees and Semitic Jewish tradition, Cain married his sister Awan, giving rise to Cain's lineage. On the other hand, Seth married his sister Asherah, originating Seth's lineage. You may be wondering how many sons and daughters Adam and Eve had. The biblical text indicates that they had many sons and daughters, especially considering that Adam lived for over 800 years. In fact, Adam and Eve were the most fertile humans of their time. Eve, as the first woman, was extremely fertile, and Adam was also very fertile. According to these ancient traditions, they had numerous sons and daughters, estimated to be around 70 or even more, according to some speculations. Considering their robust health and fertility, as well as the context of the time when procreation was favored, it is possible that they had hundreds of sons and daughters. Genesis 6 verse 1 mentions that as Adam's descendants multiplied on the earth, many beautiful daughters were born. A lesser-known curiosity is that both the sons and daughters of Adam and Eve had their own ethnic descent. Since Adam and Eve were originally mixed race, they contributed to the ethnic diversity of humanity. Despite the diversity of ethnicities and races, all are related to a common origin in Adam and Eve. The study of mitochondrial DNA, known as mitochondrial Eve, reinforces this idea that all humanity shares a common ancestry despite the racial and ethnic diversity we see in the world today. Therefore, the study of mitochondrial genetics revealed that all people descend from the same woman, contributing to the richness of ethnic and racial diversity in our world, sharing a common connection with all our ancestors. If you made it to the end with me, subscribe to the channel and share this video with your family and friends.